So I'm back. So I decided to kind of have this as a background because I want to talk more about like the video that I did yesterday, and seeing as I've had time to process it, and one of the comments in those videos, which I'm sure if you go back on it you'll see it. He made a good point. So I looked into there was a comment that said I should read this book, the Obi-Wan Kenobi book. I can't remember who it was by, but I found it and I had a read of it, like a review of it, and then I found a way to actually read the book online and I've read a bit of it, and I kind of see now what he's talking about. But that's not why we're here. So basically, I want to talk more about why I don't really think Obi-Wan is going to be that great, or should I say, why I think it can be great, but ultimately it won't be. So let's go into this. So let's talk about the characters, kind of like a little breakdown, yeah? Let's talk about some of the characters. So Obi-Wan, or Ben Kenobi, depending on your outlook, his character so far is being portrayed very well. I mean, of course, it's Ewan McGregor who's playing him again, so obviously this is going to be pretty good. Now, I'm going to address this. People who are hating on, like, little Leia at this point, you need to kind of take a step back and really look at yourself, because you're complaining about how she's impulsive and she always seems to be right and she's being a little brat and all that. The character in this setting is 10 years old. Leia at this point is 10 years old. And you're comparing her to her adult self. She has to grow up. She's going to grow up and mature into the Princess Leia that we know. So the criticism of like, oh, kid Leia is annoying, impulsive, etc. That's good. She's a 10-year-old. She's supposed to be. Have you ever had kids? If you have kids, you know that's what 10-year-olds are like. So right there, there's obviously an issue. Like, the fan base is skewered now, and it's like, I feel like now, as soon as something is put out, it is instantly hated because it's either, oh well, Disney's making strong female character, and it's like, well, that's not the case. Leia is done perfectly well. Now, when we look at Reva, with Reva there is still a few complaints here because I feel like people sell her very short, in the sense that let's look at the rooftop chase, yeah. When Obi-Wan is chasing Leia, and then Reva's doing, like, the force jumping shit, which, yes, I do agree, it was unnecessary. But that's just the way it is. That was just the way they chose to do it. But what really kind of gives me bad vibes is the way she knows how... She has this mind reading trick, right? Like Kylo did. It's like, let me see what the fuck you have in your brain, you dirty degenerate, sort of fucking force power, right? So she does this, and she couldn't do this in, like, the first episode when Obi-Wan was, like, not even, like, 5 feet from her. You see what I'm saying? It's like Disney, I would love this character, this strong, independent person of color more, if you kept things consistent. That's my issue. I'm not, like, this super fucking hater who's just like, oh, it's Disney and woman, I hate it, right? It's like, that's not me. I don't like it because half the time your characters are either blatantly overpowered for no reason, or they're overpowered for the sake of doing it. Me personally, the actress playing Reva, I think she's doing a good job so far. And that can't really be understated. I think she's doing a good job. She's kind of captured the essence of what an Inquisitor is. She's kind of what the Grand Inquisitor should be, in a sense. But I do understand that she shouldn't know half of what she knows, and she shouldn't have, half of the knowledge, powers, etc. I do understand that, but with that being said, Disney, what we don't want to see is another repeat of The Last Jedi. That's what we don't want to see. Because this is Obi-Wan Kenobi. You can't sideline him in his own show. That would be like taking... I'll even put it in a way Disney would be able to understand it. That would be like taking Rey and, like, saying, like, oh yeah, the Chronicles of Rey Skywalker, and then making Finn the integral part of her story where she's sidelined. Like, you'd have a problem with it then, but you don't seem to mind sidelining Obi-Wan. And it's just like, I want this to be good. I want, because see, with Kathleen Kennedy, this is the thing. I feel like she loves Star Wars. I feel like she wants to like be a part of it and become like one of the biggest names associated with it. Like you have George Lucas, you have like J.J. Abrams, but she wants to be a part of this, and she can be, but she needs to kind of put. You need to separate fantasy and politics from like you need to take the politics out of the fantasy Star Wars world. Now I know politics is like a major driving point in it, especially in like the prequels. But like, you have to understand that, Kathleen, to make a good Star Wars movie or TV show, you got to focus on what makes it Star Wars, not what you want the world to be. Like, you can't put your ideal world of like what Earth would be like if we all got along and got rid of racism and stopped like being prejudice. What's the word? Prejudice towards people, and putting it in a fantasy world. Like, if anything, put into the screen how you think the Star Wars world should be and could be changed to make the lore and all that better. But don't make it so that, oh, this is what Earth should be like. See how they all get along? It's like, that's not going to work. Overall, though, I think she can be a good part. She has a lot of potential, but every time she takes 12 steps back, she takes 20 forward, but then takes 30 back. And yeah, I think she could be good. Now, the real problem here is that the directors that they choose to hire, the individual who's directing the Kenobi series, I've never heard of. Do leave in the comments what she's known for. I'll probably do it here afterwards. But please do, like, educate me if you wish to. Because I have hope for it, and I want this to be good. I'm looking forward to the next episode, but I just hope that it doesn't turn into like a boring story, because I feel like it can be more than that. And honestly, leave the child actor and the actress for like Riva alone. Give them a chance, because they might grow on you. Like, don't do what y'all did to the kid in episode 1, like baby Anakin. Don't do what you did to him to her, because like that's not right. It wasn't right then, and it's not right now. You shouldn't be doing that to a child. She did her best and she nailed it. That's young Leia. But with Riva, give her a chance. She's fairly new. And honestly, I feel like if you just stay optimistic, stay positive, we will get there. This is the Talking Irishman. Please leave in the comments your thoughts and your opinions on it, because I want to know what the fan base thinks, and I'm not going to go looking at other YouTubers, because of these other YouTubers, some of them just shill it, but then the others just, they flat out hate it.